What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Align in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of Fett's Vette. Now, I am super excited for this episode, and I gotta tell you why. I have picked up the Oilbrusher set from Mig Jimenez. The Ammo Oilbrusher set has been... Let's just say that I've done a lot of practice. I basically picked up a set of styrene sheets for various modifications and models later on, and for practicing weathering. I put some primer down, I put some of our AK Extreme Metal over the top of it, and then I put some clear over the top of it, and then I just started working on weathering. And these Oilbrusher sets are just amazing. Now, one of the things that I'm really excited about is how it's going to bring another level of depth to this model. Now, I know that we have been talking about getting towards the back of the of Fett's Vette, the engine area and all of that, and we're definitely going to be doing that next week. I picked these up and I was like, what better model to start with than this? Because this model has been blessed, and there's been something about it. I don't know, like every time that I've tried something new on it, it's worked every time. And so why not go now too? Now, I know that on the rusty part of the cowl, I took some of our Tamiya dry weathering, the weathering kit, and like I've done some different weathering techniques, and this model just seems like an experimental test bed. So what we have is, for this episode, we're going to apply our Starship Filth specifically. I want to get this model dirty, and then I'm going to pick some spots for some rust, and I have a perfect couple places for that. And then I want to try applying some black and white from the Starship set. So what I have is the rust set in the Starship set. What I want to do is I want to apply some highs and lows and see if I can't bring some highlight to the model as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I have my Mig Jimenez odorless thinner, and there's no odor. It kind of blows my mind. It's thinner. It's enamel thinner, and it doesn't smell bad. It's amazing. I love it. So we're going to start with Starship Filth, and this is a very classic color for doing weathering on these models. So yeah, super excited about trying to get this put into place. And so I'm not going to be doing a tutorial here. I'm just going to be going. So what I am going to do, however, is talk about how awesome this stuff is. A piece of tape stuck to my hand. And the cool thing about it is it has, it pulls off excess paint from the end, and it just leaves the perfect amount of paint at the end of the brush. And it's just glorious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of start here at the top, and I'm just going to pick some spots where it just makes sense for a little bit of dirt to come through. Now, I have to think about both sides of this matching up, and so I'm going to apply a little bit more of this later on, weathering-wise at least, after we complete the assembly of the model. So I'm not going to be coming along the edges here, but I am going to start near the top. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a couple spots. I'm just going to put a dab here and there. Maybe grab a little streak just like that. I'm not going to be all fancy and hold the piece all delicately. I'm just going to grab some spots. And I haven't done any weathering here, so I'm definitely going to be getting some weathering done on the weapons pod areas. And just remember that inside of here is where so I'm not going to be doing anything on the inside, it's all going to be the outside of that. That's going to be where the window is. Okay, so what I want to do here is just kind of draw a streak like that. And when I streak this, I'm going to be streaking in such a way, because the ship flies, you know, like that. Really, I can't believe I just did that. But, you know, it's flying in the upright position. And so basically it's kind of flying like this, at this sort of angle at all times. And so we're going to be streaking down in that sort of way. Let me know. Let me know down below if you guys think that that's a good idea or not. But grab a strip right here. And just some dots. Just places where it would make sense. I don't want to overdo this, but you also kind of can't, because you can just take it right off. Remember, I've clear coated this portion of the model, and it is secured, so I can just wipe off if I choose to. And go a little bit like that. Right along the bottom there. Dot there. And you want to let this stuff dry a little bit. You want to wait a couple minutes. Not being too specific with any of my placement. I think that's a nice big splotch right there. I'm gonna draw a line right there, focusing on making sure that I'm not getting towards the exact edge where the models meet. Once again, you want to be conscious about how we're doing that. Grab from right here. Let's grab a streak there. Just like that. Just like that. Okay. So now, I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside for a second. And do the same thing over here. Just finding some lines, like maybe right there. There. Ooh, well, whatever. Starship filth. It's fine. Let's grab some spots. This does feel weird if I didn't know that it didn't work, you know what I'm saying? Just feels a little weird. But it's totally fine. I don't need to worry about this drying. Match what we saw over on the other side over there. I want it to dry a little bit. I want it to leave a little bit of itself behind. Now we're going to apply all of our color. All of our little pigments before we do our streaking. Gone streaking! Alright, so now let's pick some spots up here. Alright, so now let's go ahead and move over to our first panel. And let's grab some rust, shall we? And knock some things over. Let's just grab some straight rust. What do you think? Oxido. Give it a quick little shake up. And what I'm thinking for the rust is we have this part up here. Oh yeah. This stuff has a very weird smell, by the way. What I want to do is put some rust right along here. And I want this to be rusty a little bit. Also want this to be a little rusty. I want that to be a little rusty. I want to have a little bit of rust streaking down from right here. And let's pick one more spot. I don't want to go too crazy with this. And let's go just a little bit of rust coming from right there. Okay. Now, let's find a couple spots over here. Like maybe there's a little bit of rust coming from where the weapons port. There's a little bit of rust coming from the bottom of this. Definitely rust. We got some rust coming from right over there, so we match that up. There we are. And let's find one more spot for some rust. And why not from this corner right here? There we are. Beautiful. Okay. Now, I'm going to grab my black. And this is kind of an interesting effect. It kind of gives some darkness to the model a little bit in some spots. So, let's grab our first panel that we've been doing. Just kind of going back and forth. And you do not want to go crazy with the black here, but what I want to do is get in here into this grill, just at the very top. Maybe get a little bit of rust down here along there. I'm going to do that there. A little bit of black right here. I am not going to be using very much, you guys. Very small amounts of this. And I want to be thoughtful about where I'm putting my black. Dot or two here. One there. One there. That's it. Put them right here and here. And there. Run along the top there. Right there. There's a nice big streak of it. And let's pick two more dots. One up top. One in the middle. Right there. Okay. Now, for our final bit of oil we're going to put on, we're going to go ahead and use some white. And of course, knock something over because it wouldn't be one of my episodes if we didn't do that. Okay. Not many places I can grab this anymore. But this is going to bring some highlights. And I really want to focus on areas that are kind of dark. Tiny little dot there. Dot there. Couple dots there. One up top. Just very subtle. Needs a little bit of love right here. I think I need a little bit of rust right there too. So I'm going to bust out the rust one more time. But before we do that, let's go ahead and grab a dot. 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 Just like that. And let's grab our rust one more time. And is that the one that fell over? It is. No, it's red primer. There's our dark brown. Of course, last one I look at, but that's of course how it always works, right? So we're going to go ahead and drop a little bit more rust right there. And then just a little bit, maybe from right here, right at the edge. right there. Sure. Okay, I'm going to give this 5 minutes, and we will be right back. Okay, so I did the other side, did some practicing, and let's see how everything turns out over here. We'll see. Actually, doing this on a model gets a little bit nerve-wracking, to say the least. So, I'm just going to go ahead and quietly do my thing here. Grab some of my color and just pull it down. The white has been a challenge. Regrets may have been had for using it. I'm just moving the pigment where I want it. Once you get it where you want it, just gonna wipe it off. Now, I have done some practice and watched a bunch of videos, but of course, this is where I say tips and tricks, please. And I know several of you are good at this. And I've watched. And I also know that streaking works much better over metallics. I know that. So. But please let me know. I'll of course live with whatever we have here. And I can always take it off, but I'm not too worried about it. Get into that grill there. Pull that excess off. Really what I'm doing, I'm focusing on pushing the color into edges and just leaving whatever dirt is sitting over the top. Just give it a little bit of a streak. Interesting. Push that towards the edge. The rest I haven't quite figured out yet. But, you know, hey, learning. White is super intense. Curious, like, where that'd be a really good application. Please let me know. I'm going to leave a little bit of that streak there of the rust and just see how that turns out. This white, though, is not working for me. So, beauty is, take it off. Bye. Huh. Think might be onto something here. I need to get some of this excess. thinner off. I want it running where I don't want it running. I just started red egg. My God. Sometimes I wonder why my girlfriend puts up with me. Just makes me laugh sometimes. She's so patient and understanding. Got lucky. Just kind of running over the top and pulling down. And that is what I've seen techniques done. I've seen quite a few. I've watched quite a few. I watched a lot of the videos from Ammo. But I've never done this before, officially on a model, so I'm kind of curious. Once again, let me know. I am learning, y'all. I want this to be really dirty down here on this side for whatever particular reason. Some particular reason. Got a little of that rust. Okay. Okay. I'm starting to see some things here. Okay. Okay, Sasha. Okay. So now I'm just going to kind of pull off some of this excess before I'd figured out what the hell I was doing. But it's totally fine. Got the effect that I was looking for. Any of the obvious splotches. Okay. So, I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes, and I will come back, and we will talk about how we did, and what we're going to do in the next episode. We'll be back. Alright, we're back. I gave it probably about 20 minutes or so to dry, and it turned out pretty good, actually. It definitely, made the model look dirty. I mean, it's called Starship Filth, right? Yeah, I really actually like the effect. Especially over here. That rust effect that I got towards the end, I think I finally figured it out there at the very end, what I should be doing. Very light, very, the brush needs to have thinner on it, but it needs to be kind of dry. It's like this weird medium where you're supposed to have it a certain way. I don't know, very strange. But overall, I think it turned out really, really good, especially, like I said, right down here with the rust effect coming off of the weapons port there. But it definitely, dirtied up the model, which is exactly what I'm looking for. And I think the next thing we're going to be doing for the front is going to be adding some soot to the few grills that we have, well, a little bit of oil, and then we're going to go ahead and throw our dull coat over the top, and we're going to call the front of this complete, and we're going to be able to move on to basically the back, which is what we're going to be doing in the next episode. And then once the back is done, we got a little bit of interior work, assembly, And it looks like we're getting close to the end, my friends. And so, that's what I got for you all today. This is the first time, like I said, where I've used any sort of oil paints for weathering, and I'm very curious if I did anything wrong, if I need to kind of like wipe everything off and give it a try again. Please let me know. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things you all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me watching me build a model, which I think is pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions, comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world wherever you happen to be. And just remember that this is the way.